tags, and there are some existing tags. So agent, right? I've got lots of agents in my database. Allied resources, what was that? Oricans on Maui, that's a group of associate people I know. Here's associates, here's somebody who's bought, here's a buyer. I'm gonna make Betty a buyer. A buyer, so what's the difference between the green and the black, by the way, is I imported my eEdge database and had these tags already, and Command already had those tags. So now it added my tags to the Command tags, and there's no difference between them. They're the same. Buyer or seller, in other words, I can't tell. Here is clients, so she was a client already. And then we have family reunion from 2019, and here we have, you get the point. You can make these up. You can actually add, here's my sphere of influence. So I'm gonna add her to my sphere of influence. Okay? And is that it? Do I not have to save this? This is scary if I don't add a relationship. What does that mean? Add a relationship. She's a personal friend. We're going to add remove relationship. Spouse, father, mother, son, daughter, brother, sibling, parent, child. Ooh, grandkids, step. Ooh.
Child-in-law.
Wow, partner, other, business partner, child-in-law. Okay, so that's okay. That's kind of interesting. So you can add or remove a relationship. And now I hit the create button. See, I get the, but here, okay, it finally came up. Here's the add more information. So I can actually get more additional contact information about this person. Are they on the sales pipeline or custom information? So here I can keep track of legal name, description, birthdays, home anniversary, my relationship with them, work, where do they work? Get the idea? You can keep a lot of data on somebody, and the more you have, the easier it is to call them up and say, hey, how's it going? You still at ABC Carpet? When did you leave? I didn't know that. What are you doing now, right? It sounds like you're informed, like you remember. And for people like me who don't have a memory, it's really good to have all this stuff in here to make me sound like I really remember. So I'm going to create Betty. Whoops, this email is already in use button. That's because Betty is in there already. So I'm going to continue and override. And no, it wouldn't let me do that. So where's my Betty buyer? Okay, so now I can search for Betty. And that should be her right here, Betty Buyer, there she is. And I can now do all sorts of things with her, including setting her up on smart plans and regular mailings. And I can set her up on a smart plan by adding that right here. I can figure out how else, that's a whole other class, right, about how to set people up to get automatic notifications. And Smart Plans sends people an email that gives them the recent sales and active listings in the neighborhoods that they're interested in. So if Betty was interested in Lahaina, I might pick Lahaina and Honokawai and Napili and send her and set her up for a smart plan to get it every other week about what's new in those neighborhoods. So she gets that from me. Kind of cool. I've also got her as a sphere of influence. I can export my sphere of influence group, import it into eEdge, and eEdge has a newsletter. I happen to like sending out newsletters. So once a month, my people get a newsletter that way. Okay?
Is this connected with your Paragon? So when you set up that thing every 2 weeks, this is just your reminder to do that, right?
No.
It's not actually doing it.
It's actually doing it.
Oh, this is doing it.
That's actually doing it, yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Okay. So, what are some of the campaigns that you can do in here? What page am I on? Let's see. Oops. We just did that, but now I'm on page 29. And I just want to tell you about some of the campaigns that we could recommend. There's something called an 8x8. An 8x8 literally means we'd send somebody something 8 times in 8 weeks, 8 items in 8 weeks. And it literally goes like every Tuesday, they're gonna get something from us. We use those, and it's not just us, by the way. The Millionaire Real Estate Agent, which is the book that Gary Keller wrote, which is really the model of how to do real estate. I learned this from Larry Kendall, who does ninja selling, and I happen to be a big Larry Kendall fan. You could go to Brian Buffini, you could go to Tom Ferry, you could go to any one of these people, and the bases of real estate are the same. Stay in touch with people, contact them, make a connection, ask for business. Stay in touch with them, contact them, right? Continue to stay in touch. The more you do that, the more your database is gonna respond to you. So, so where was I? I just lost my, so an 8x8 is, we use it to, somebody walks into your open house and you now wanna make a connection with them. You might set them up for an 8x8. They're gonna get an email from you once a week to just follow up so that there is some building on this relationship we just established in the short 10 minutes that we spent together. As part of that 8x8 might also be, like within the first week, I would think a phone call that says, so just following up, was so great to meet you at open house the other day. Is there anything I can do for you? Is there anything else that you'd like to look at? Right? Just wondering where you're at with whatever. So how are you following up on open house? Command has an open house follow-up campaign. It's pretty cool. E-Edge didn't, so I love that when I saw that. It's like, woo, somebody finally gets it. Because you want to really follow up to an open house. You just met a person. You're just about to add them to your database. You don't know anything about them yet. You need to build a relationship, right? How do you do that? How do you now build on the fact that you met these people in an open house? Well, it's got to remind you to call them and remind you to that you're sending them stuff, and then maybe 3 weeks later you call again and maybe you send that handwritten note and you start to build that relationship. Another way is if you want to, some people say this, if you want to start farming to a geographic area, let's say a building, a condo building. Some people say in order to establish yourself, right, we need 7 impressions before people will even notice us. So to start with an 8x8 postcard campaign. Now that gets expensive. That's 8 postcards in 8 weeks. That's a lot of money to pay for postage and printing of those postcards. So some people are, do I have to do those? Well, the idea is do more than your regular 12 direct. A 12 direct is then once a month you send them something. Once a month you stay in touch with, these are strangers, these are haven't mets. But in order for those haven't mets to kind of get it that you're like, you're gonna come after them and who you are, they go, who is this, who is this, who is this, right? Is to start with an 8x8. Even if you did 4 cards in 8 weeks, that would be a lot faster than 1 card a month. See where I'm going? So you start out a little more intensely, and then you move into the 12 direct. There are lots of interesting cards available to us, lots of interesting material. Again, most of that right now is in E-Edge, and we'll have a class for you to take to learn about E-Edge. But E-Edge has lots of campaigns. So we have this Did You Know campaign. There's a picture of a dryer, clothes dryer, and it says, did you know? Well, you can't help it. You gotta go like, did I know what? And you turn it over and it says, well, did you know that, whatever the hint is, some household cleaning hint or something like that, right? Some little tidbit. Where I'm trying to go is, the person you are mailing is not necessarily interested in selling their condo right now. You are trying to establish mind share. You are trying to get into their mind as a realtor that they should consider should they want to sell their condo, right? This card is not gonna live very long. It's gonna get picked up and I'm gonna put it in the circular file. So the more that you can make an impression on me and get me to turn it around and look at it, the more I'm gonna go, oh, look at that, it's this woman Teresa again. Look at this, honey. She's saying the condo just down the hall just sold for $479,000. Wow, did you know we were worth that much? Do you think we should sell our condo, honey? Maybe we should call her. She says if I want a market evaluation of our unit, we should give her a call. Do you think I should call her?
Yes.
Yes, of course we should call her. So you get the idea, right? It's like, how do you get me to turn this card over and pay attention to it? And that's where, take a look at some of the marketing material that we have available to you that attempts to do that, make that compelling. I've always thought humor, if you can make me laugh, like, you know, the cartoons from New Yorker magazine, if you can find a good one and put that on the front of a card, I'm gonna turn it over and say, who tried to make me laugh? I'm really grateful. I said, I'm trying to make you laugh today. Have a great one. And call me if you need any real estate needs, right? That's kind of like a handwritten card that makes you feel good. And you go like, I can't believe somebody actually sent this out. I did a whole campaign once called Refrigerator Art. We just went around, took pretty pictures of Maui, and we sent them out. I had people coming to me for years and saying, do you know I still have a couple of your postcards on my refrigerator? Yeah, people did.
That's cool.
Yeah. So, you know, how can I cut through the mail that we get out of the mailbox? That's really the idea here, right? So an 8x8 establishes us, and then a 12 direct goes more gently. A 33 touch, now called a 36 touch. So if you go to the next page 31, it kind of shows you how an 8x8 goes once a week, same day. But a 33 touch goes in different ways. And when you do it that way, when your drop goes on odd days, not regularly, then people go like, didn't I just get an email? Maybe I didn't, I don't remember. When the pattern is very clear, we make a note. Oh, it's Tuesday, I'm getting an email from Marion. A 33 touch is intended not to do that, okay? So if you can stagger it. And sometimes you can't, like right now I'm doing 2 mailings. I'm doing a newsletter and I'm doing a market statistics update. And those just alternate, and that's what I send out. So I'm not staggering. But there's a value you can see here by being a little more, I don't know, not so obvious in my marketing campaigns to you. That's the idea here. Okay. Any questions so far about this idea? So I wonder if I can just go in here again. Show you this. So if I go here and I want to set Betty up to receive a monthly neighborhood, like I could set her up for a monthly neighborhood watch that I've already set up, or I can go to the library. And the library has a bi-weekly neighborhood update, a quarterly call plan. A quarterly call plan. I can put her on my quarterly call plan. What does that mean? It's gonna remind me to call her every quarter, right? Isn't that cool? I have a midterm nurture. Midterm meaning somewhere halfway through the year that I've put her on. There's a nurture thing happening here. It's 2 touches and 16 steps. A long-term nurture, an 8x8 contact, so there's an 8x8, here's a birthday campaign, so anybody who I've got birthdays for, it's not gonna go out if I don't have a birthday, right? So I could turn everybody onto the birthday campaign and make it my goal to try and get everybody's birthdays. Like I could do a whole phone campaign and say, I'm on a mission to get everybody's birthdays. Here is open house follow-up. Here's the open house follow-up campaign. So, and here is a home anniversary, which is a great one, right? Such a wonderful follow-up opportunity is to say to somebody, congratulations, it's been a year. And when you say it 5 years from now, it's been 5 years since you bought your home, how's it going? You ready to sell yet? No.
Wait 2 more years. 3 more years.
Okay. All right, I'll be in touch. Right? But isn't that like, you could make it funny. You could just make it, you know, do something funny for people. So this is Command. It's got lots of stuff in it and growing. This is totally being developed. I just want to be clear here that everybody saw I've been talking about E-Edge and Command and the fact that I'm using both. We're in this beta test. I don't know if anybody's told you that, but we're in a big beta test. So you've seen AI developed and impacting us, right? Like when you go to Amazon, does Amazon know what you like? Absolutely. Unbelievably, right? Does Netflix know what I like? Oh my God, yes. It has me have my account, and my son has his own account, and my husband has his own account, and now my son's friend is on there with his account. We've all got one of those, right? And we each have our own things that come up, totally different recommendations and suggestions, right? So Keller Williams is building that for us so that realtors have that kind of power behind them. And that means he needed to get this going and get us all to use this as quickly as possible. The more information we can put in here, the more we learn and can have the system custom deliver to our clients what it is they're interested in, because they're gonna go, so no, I don't like that one, but I love this one. Okay, let's send her more like that. That's the idea here. So yes, it's a beta test. Yes, it's not perfect yet. Yes, I'm still using some of E-Edge, and I'll show you E-Edge at some point. But Command is like this awesome, powerful tool that the more you get into it, the more you're gonna be able to take advantage of it. So just forgive it if it's not perfect yet. I get really annoyed sometimes. And as Zach reminded us yesterday in the presentation he gave us, is get over it. It's so almost there. It's like, it's fine. Like your client won't even notice that it isn't, you know, perfect yet. Just get it out to your clients and start using it. So, that's what I'm doing. Okay. Browse around. Here's another interesting thing. You're gonna go like, how do I learn Command? Well, you can come to classes that we offer, but the truth is, Command is kind of like everything else that you've learned. You probably didn't take lessons for Facebook or, you know, the apps on your phone. We just kind of learn it, don't we? Well, Command's no different. You can go right here. If you click on the KW, it tells you what all these icons mean. Go in there and browse around. Down here is where you set up your websites. Here's where you can see designs and see what else is available. These are the campaigns that I was just showing you. Browse around, learn how to figure out what's in there. And don't be afraid. All right. So, when do you add somebody to your database? Yeah, as soon as possible. I can't tell you how many people I know that come to see me and tell me, oh, I've been doing open houses, which is just awesome, right? And I go, great. How many names have you collected? Oh, about 30. Great, so you've got 30 people in your database? Well, no, I haven't done that yet. You know what my answer is? Why did you bother doing open houses? Tell me, really. If you were to go to an open house and meet an agent, and 4 weeks later that agent calls you up and says, hi, I wanted to follow up in the open house where we met, I'd go like, who are you? Right? Do I remember you from the open? Now, maybe if we had this wonderful connection, I might, but how impressed am I that you're calling me 4 weeks later?
Not.
Kind of like, is there anything I can do for you? Like, why are you calling me now, right? Now, maybe I could say, I know you were in that condo and you mentioned to me that you were looking for this and that. I just wanted to let you know that one like that just came on the market and I thought of you, so I thought I'd call. Okay, so maybe I could redeem myself if I can do that. But if I can't do that, now I'm kind of, right? So why are you doing open houses? It's a lead generating activity. It is for us here on Maui the easiest way to meet actual buyers or prospective buyers, especially during high season, right? So in other markets, they tell you to go after FSBOs. A FSBO is a what? For sale by owner, that's right. Do we have a lot of for sale by owners here? No, we do not. We have the occasional one, but no, not a lot. And the other thing they tell you to go after is expireds. That's right. That's expired as somebody whose listing expired on the MLS. Do we have a lot of expireds here?
Couple.
No, we do not. In some markets, they have 100 a week,
Wow.
right? So there's a lot of people to call. We might get 3, 4, 5. So there's not a lot of expireds to go after. However, in Des Moines, can you do open house every day? No, there's no point in it. So they do open houses on weekends and maybe like they have a Wednesday afternoon where there's, the market's gotten accustomed to that. But generally speaking, people don't have 7-day open house opportunities. So keep that in mind. That's how we compensate for very few expireds and few FSBOs. So putting them on a follow-up plan right away, understanding what that open house follow-up plan is, how are you going to be communicating to people, setting up your own marketing plan, right, so that you can stay in touch with people. The best thing to do, guys, is to put yourself in here and to turn them on. Turn yourself on and see what happens. See what it looks like so that you can see it in your email. When you learn to go into eEdge, go into eEdge, turn yourself on for the newsletter. See what that looks like. Do you see what I'm saying? That's easy, right? You can just turn one person on, it doesn't know. So just for you to get that sense. And we'll be telling you more about some of those tools. As soon as you get a referral, right? Now somebody who said it, Teresa I think said it, that the person has already contacted the referrer, right? So that you're going to be able to follow up. That's awesome, because people say, oh, let me get in touch with them first. Super. Do you mind if I get in touch with you in a day or two just to follow up? No, that's okay. Yeah, I'll be able to connect with her. Or actually, I have a meeting with them on Friday. Why don't you call me Saturday? Okay. Right? Don't leave it to the person. You do it. If you can say, can you give me the name and contact information, I'd be happy to tell them that you suggested I might give them a call. And then, so what we're going to tell you is think about this in the big sense. If you set up your system and you've got this little machine ready to go and all you need to do is feed names into it and the machine is going to do the thing, would you take advantage of that machine?
Yeah.
This is your machine. Okay? All you have to do is get to know it well enough to set it up, get it going, and you can start with just putting your name in, you're the one, and then you keep adding people to it. And before you know it, you've got 250 people who are regularly getting communications from you, and you're getting a regular reminder to call them and stay in touch. We just had our group coaching session on Monday about what are the items of value that we could talk to people about so that when we make that quarterly call, we have something to talk about, right? Because that's the hard part. What am I going to talk about now? I just called her 3 months ago and we caught up. Now what am I going to talk about? Well, there's actually a list here, which we skipped over. where was I? Yeah, on page 30. Read this list to us.
Market statistics, business journal articles, local points of interest.
Okay, hold on. So market statistics. I'm on page 30. What am I on? 30. I got the new. Go back a little. It looks like this. It's a list. Don't go back far. It should be there. You don't have it. Ha! Ha! I got the special manual here. I got the special manual. So this is, all right, so we've got market statistics. Where can you get market statistics?
Online.
How?
Like.
You could do your own CMA, so if you wanted to do a postcard to a condo, you could pull the condo information from the MLS and make your own little chart and say 3 solds in the last 3 months and 2 are pending and there's 3 for sale. And here's the prices, and just, there's your CMA for, well, it's not really CMA, it's just stats, it's just the information about that condo. Or you can do it for all of Kihei, or you could do it for the whole island, whatever you wanna do.
Info box.
InfoSparks will give it to you in graph format, that's correct, if you wanna use it that way. We're gonna go over the wheel. So, the title companies are a great source for this. They send you an e-blast every month with really nice graphics on, this is what happened to our market this last month. And you just take a screenshot and you put it in your email and you send it up. I add it to my newsletter, and that makes my newsletter have local information on top, right? I can now call up and say, I'm just letting everybody know, so here's what we're asking agents or recommending agents do right now. Hi, I'm just calling to all my clients and everybody on my database to let everybody know that we're kind of at the top of the market. Now, we don't have a crystal ball, but what we can see is that sales are consistently going down. We also know that the market has shifted on the mainland, and when it shifts on the mainland, ultimately that comes here. Because if people stop buying so much over here, they're not gonna buy their second home here either. So we're letting people know that if you've thought at all about selling your home, that now's a great time to sell. Would that be a worthwhile call? That's an easy conversation to have, right? And if you don't own your own home, well, do you know anybody who does that might be interested in this information? So, always worthwhile knowing. Everybody wants to know about the market, right? So, market statistic. What was the next one?
Business journal articles.
Business journal articles. So, there's a couple of things here. You have access to the Government Affairs Director's blog, and he actually does a video. And the Government Affairs Director is a staff member of the Realtors Association of Maui. We pay a full-time person to be our Government Affairs Director, and he keeps us up to date on current things happening in the government so that we are aware of changes coming up, right? So sometimes there's stuff that happens there. If you subscribe to the Pacific Business News and you see something interesting, it's totally a reason sometimes to call people, right? Yeah, what else?
Local points of interest.
Oh, yeah. So I love the one that puts together a list of all the events. You can go to the Maui calendar, right? A lot of people don't know there is such a thing called the Maui calendar. If you go to the Maui calendar, and it actually tells you all the things that are scheduled, all the nonprofits and their little their fairs and whatever else it is. But yeah, you could definitely put together a list of, here's the events that are happening over the next 3 months. I'd love to send you a copy, and I just wanted to touch base and say hi.
Local points of interest. Chamber of Commerce information.
But up to you. If you like the Chamber of Commerce, if you're a member of the Chamber of Commerce and you've gotten information from them, great, fine. Something that comes to mind is we have an economist come and talk to us, and actually the Chamber of Commerce hires the same economist, so he comes here a couple of times a year. And whatever the economist had to say might be an interesting little blurb, right? What else?
Preferred vendor list.
This is very cool. If you set yourself up to be the one that people should call in case you need anything. You need a plumber, you need a painter, you need a handyman, you need a roofer, let me know, I'd be happy to help you. So you become the source for those kinds of needs, right? Yeah, a hub, exactly. I know people who've set up little web pages with the information and done on all sorts of cute things. You can use it as a flyer. You can go around the neighborhood and say, I just want to be of service to everybody. If you need anything at all, I'm here to help. I've got lots of contacts for you. Now you obviously have to have the list so that you can follow through, but it's a great service to provide. What else?
Homestead exemption form.
Okay, so we don't have homestead exemption forms here. However, what that means is your tax exemption on your homeowners, the property taxes. So that happens in December. So could you call your homeowners and say, just making sure that you are registered as a homeowner and owner occupant for your property. This is the month of December and when you'd want to register for that. So I'm just calling around, reminding everybody. Yeah.
So you exempt for 200,000, right?
And a far lower rate. The rate on
Oh, yeah.
like
The tax rate.
that tax rate is $5.60 versus $2.54 is a big difference, right? So the mill rate
Homeowner, yes.
of homeowner versus the other categories. Yeah. Next.
Interesting articles.
Okay, same thing. You get the idea.
Local calendar of events.
We talked about that, so yeah.
Your local title companies can be great resources for information.
Absolutely. The local title companies have a lot of information, so definitely check out on that, right? And take advantage of it. Get in touch with your local escrow company marketing person. You meet them at Caravan. Everybody here know about Caravan?
Yes.
Everybody, no? Okay, so Caravan is when the realtors get together every Tuesday in Kihei, every Wednesday on the west side, every Thursday up country to look at houses. And the listing agents open up their new listings and invite the realtors to come in and see them. It is the most important way for you to get to know the inventory in addition to open houses, going to open houses. So I urge you to go to Caravan as soon as you can.
So where in Kihei do they, like, is it just like, do they have a meeting spot or?
Yeah, there's an actual meeting and I believe it's at Hope Chapel.
Hope Chapel?
Yeah.
9 o'clock every
And it's
morning.
at 9 o'clock in the morning on Tuesdays, and the South Side Caravan always rotates. 1 week is North Kihei, 1 week is South Kihei, and 1 week is Maui Meadows and Wailea, McKenna. And then it goes back to North Kihei, and that's how it rotates. West Side does the same thing, Lahaina, and then Honokawai, and then Napili.
Is it like an all day thing?
No, it usually lasts 2 to 3 hours in the morning,
Okay, cool.
from 9 to noon, something like that.
Okay,
But don't stop yourself from going into, like, you could do this yourself. You could get to know, if you're looking to get to know Kihei, just drive, or West Side, drive down the street Saturday afternoon and go into every open house you can. And while you're at that open house, walk around the complex and make notes for yourself. Go see Kevin Space and buy the Maui condo book from him. Actually, I think Sam has some copies. The Maui condo book costs $60 or $65. It's invaluable. I have one in my car and I keep one at my desk. The one in my car is 20 years old and it still works. Because the layout of the condos hasn't changed any, right? The number of units hasn't changed any. The location of where the condo is in the complex, I had to show property the other day, over here in Kihei. And I'm going to, Kolu. I haven't got a clue where the unit is in the complex. I don't know how to get into the complex. I do my test drive the day before. Can't find the condo. I had to call the agent back and go, like, what am I missing here? She goes, oh, you gotta take that driveway up over there. Oh my God, I didn't realize. So, learning to where the properties are, and when you go to show property, go in advance, but Caravan teaches you all of that. It's gonna show you where those complexes are. And so ride with each other. It really helps to ride together with people and talk to people. So getting to know the inventory. What else? That's about it. That's it for our list, right? Did we come up with anything else? I can't think of anything else. Tax rate changes, that happens in February here, so you could let people know about that. All right, so are we all committed here to entering our names and our contacts into our database and building our database? Let me hear it from you. Yes!
Yes.
Yes! All right, let me hear it again.
Yes.
Awesome, that's what I want to hear. I want to see you guys as database masters. Questions? Yes?
When it sends out notifications to our contacts, do we get notified that they were sent
If
out?
you put yourself on your list, you do.
Okay.
That's the only way. So you must seed everything you do with your, that's why I'm saying put yourself on every list, right? So add yourself first, and then, like, I only send to my sphere of influence and open house. That's when you're done with my open house follow-up campaign, you go into my sphere of influence, and so I get that. That's how I manage to not miss anything. So yes, be sure to put yourself. So no, it doesn't send you a notification. It gives you a notification in the system. We sent it out, but you
Okay.
didn't get it. So
Does
it's
it show
funny.
you if they read it or opened it or not, like how it did in
I can't tell that in here yet because I only just turned this campaign on for a couple of people to get that going. So I can't tell in here yet, but in e-Edge it did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you just review really quick how you navigated to get where you are?
Oh, you just wanna get to command? Wait. Disconnect, there it is. You wanna get to here? So I'm in command. Do you know how to get to command?
No, show me that.
Okay, command is agent.kw.com. Not agents. Agents, I don't know why they did this, but they did, is for the commercial stuff. So it's agent, singular, .kw.com. Your login is the same as your login for my KW. So if you've gotten your my KW login, and if you're looking at me like I don't know what she's talking about, then you haven't gotten your my KW login yet, and you haven't either. You have, okay, great. So, that would be the same. It's the same in all of these.
Something that's helped me is I bookmark all the
Oh,
sites we
yeah.
use. You guys should definitely do that if you haven't. That
And
makes
you
all
know-
just so easy to access.
If you use Chrome, it does this anyway, right? So it starts keeping the ones that you know. And then if you gotta allow the cookies, please make sure to always allow the cookies in command. And then it's gonna remember your password and does all of that. Does that make sense? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so, why is it important to put everybody on a campaign in your database?
So you don't have
Lead generation.
Legion, it leads to Legion. It leads to business.
a business competitive edge too.
Oh my God, you wouldn't believe how many people don't do this.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna say, what? They don't? Why won't they? Why don't they?
Overwhelming.
Time consuming.
Time consuming, tedious, boring.
They're not with Keller Williams, it's hard work for them, this is easy for us.
So,
It's not exciting. It's not. Sitting down and working on your database is not exciting. However, it's gonna pay off. It will pay off. So doing the not exciting stuff every day, that's what's hard about doing real estate. Doing the unexciting, boring, tedious stuff every day. That's what's hard about real estate. Doing real estate is fun. When somebody says, I wanna buy, woo, now we go off over here and we forget about all this. No, don't do that. Always allow for some time to keep this going, right? Make sure you check in and make your calls and do that because you wanna have another sale 5 months from now, not just the one coming up. Okay, Now, you've got a mission homework for next week.
Only on Friday?
On Friday.
Oh, yeah, sorry, I meant that. Let's go here, student resources, and I just wanna see what that mission is. And this mission homework has us, KW technology set up. I don't think that link works. Create a new marketing campaign. I would like to see you guys all log into Command instead. Instead of watching these, right? Log into Command, because I actually am not sure this works. It doesn't. So, that answers that. So please go into Command. There we go. No. What did I just do? There we go. Log into Command. What is this one? Watch internet lead generation 2.5 minutes. I'm not sure that works, but if the link would work, if there's a video there. And then create a new marketing campaign. You can definitely think about, right, as you explore Command, what can you do there? So go in, enter yourself as a contact, start with that, or your spouse, or both, but you wanna put yourself in so you can add yourself. See how you can tag yourself and what you can create, play around a little bit. Does that make sense? Yeah.
There's a self-tag on there?
Self, it's myself, me and mine.
Self.
No, I don't think so. Mm-mm. I mean, could you create one? Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Questions?
So we meet the Friday after Thanksgiving. That's the next class?
Oh,
No, this Friday.
This Friday.
Oh, this Friday.
This Friday,
And Monday, and then the next Monday.
Oh,
after
okay,
that.
yeah.
okay.
So next week, the only class we have is Monday. But I will see you here Friday.
Yep.
Okay,
Thanks, Mary.
thank you so much.
Thanks, Marion.
Alright.
Stretch.